Plaintiff LaToya Pearson admits that she is a former felon who's been arrested for theft and assault with a deadly weapon. But she insists she's turned her life around. LaToya claims the defendant, who's her cousin, is constantly throwing her past in her face, and she's suing her today for unreturned property and emotional distress. Defendant Dominique Mitchell doesn't believe LaToya's turned her life around because she's still a thief who stole Dominique's son's social security number and claimed him on her taxes. Dominique claims LaToya got her evicted from her property, and she's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Yeah, and I just want to let you know that you have been an inspiration to me. I watch your show every day. You give me hope that there's second chances for people like me, because I'm a felon. This case is not just about property. It's much more than that. My family let drugs take over their life.
Your family?
Yes, my family, my parents. So I had to grow up faster to fend for me and my two little sisters. Hung out with the wrong crowd, made some unhealthy decisions, started stealing from department stores. Resulted in a felony retail theft that I have. Also have an aggravated assault with a weapon, high school fight. I was 17 years old.
Boosting and shooting, huh?
No, actually, I just made some bad decisions.
You know what boosting is?
Stealing, right?
Stealing,
Yes,
and
yes.
then and reselling.
Oh, reselling.
But I wasn't selling. I was just, making sure me and my little sister had what we needed, basically. I wasn't selling anything.
Okay.
But I since turned my life around.
How'd you turn your life around?
I went to job court, received my GED, received a trade, business office technology.
Good.
Also went to Westwood College, have a 3.9 GPA right now.
Great.
I had two little sisters look out, so I had to change my life around. And Dominique constantly rubs that in my face that I'm a felon and things like that, but my past doesn't make me who
What's
I am
your
today.
grade point?
Who? I'm currently not in school, Your Honor.
Oh, where you work?
Where I work, I don't have a job right now. I'm unemployed.
What is it she be rubbing in your face again?
That I'm a felon, but I have held a job down. I have held a job down since I've been a felon, though.
Trying to understand. Okay.
She's held a job that, Your Honor, she's saying she's a felon because her mom did drugs. Her mom done drugs don't have nothing to do with her stealing because she continues to steal. She still steals right now to today. So
All right.
it ain't.
You're suing about unreturned property,
Yes, I
but
am.
you want to give me any background on yourself?
We used to be close, Your Honor, until she made more than bad decisions. She chose to be with somebody who beats her real bad and chose her. That's where our relationship fell off at. When she decided to be with this guy who abused her real bad and he left her out homeless and she stole my son's social security card. I filed taxes with my son's social security card, Your Honor. And it's
This is before she changed her life, though.
No, this is after.
Yeah,
this is supposed to be during her changing her life. This happened within the last
week?
2 years.
Oh,
But she has 3.5 kids, Your Honor, with no education and
I
no
have
work
3
skills.
kids.
three and
I
a
have-
half kids.
She's pregnant now.
I have 3 kids.
3.5 kids
I have
with no
3
baby
kids.
daddy,
I'm
so-
pregnant. I had my own place to stay until she got me put out.
Let's hear from you, man. Why are you suing?
I am suing her because we got into a heated argument.
No, first, were you all staying together?
Yes, I moved into her apartment January of 09.
That's
All
the
right.
story. That's the story.
January
Yes.
of 09, I moved to her apartment around tax time. We filed our taxes basically around the same time. We got our money back. We were doing a girl thing, hanging out, going shopping, doing things with the kids. Everything was fine when I
I
moved.
thought she didn't work.
She had filed her taxes. She unemployment.
But I don't
People
work.
file unemployment all the time, tax time. Unemployment, illegal stuff. But
Illegal.
Self-employment. I do hair.
self-employment, yeah,
Yes,
self-employment,
thank you.
yes. Everybody does that, so that's why she got taxes. So we was hanging out doing a
You
girl
do it?
thing.
First of
Well,
all,
mostly everybody do it.
Most of you. Not since you've been here.
Right.
Right.
All right, not
What she
until
But we
saying
was
is
doing a girl
control.
thing. We was hanging out, going shopping, doing the kids thing. Everything was fine when I moved in with her. Around February 25th, we had a heated argument. She had me escorted out her car to the police. I then called the landlord instantly, let her know what was going on. I got my things at Dominique's house. I know how Dominique gets down. I want my things at her house. That night, she didn't go home till around 10 o'clock that night. I called the police instantly. We got into the building. Dominique came out of her door, let the police know that she didn't have any of my things. Me and the officer standing out there for about 10 minutes. 5 minutes later, again, the lady officer opened the door. I see a tote of my undergarments and things like that at the door, but she's not bringing my coats and my clothes and my major.
You couldn't go in the room and get
She
them?
wouldn't let me out in her house like I was trying to
Thought
fight
you
her
were
or
with
something.
the police.
I don't know. Why she wouldn't let me in her house? I
No,
wasn't
I'm
trying.
saying the police wouldn't escort you in
No,
to get your things?
because she didn't want to let the police in, Your Honor. Dominique came out of her apartment. We were talking in the hallway about my things. She let the lady officer go in with her. Me and a male officer stay in the hallway. 5 or 10 minutes later, they came back. She said Dominique was sorting through the clothes. I'm like, how could she be sorting through the clothes when everything of mine is in the back room where I slept at?
The officer depended on her to bring your things out.
Yes, she said that she wasn't touching anything. This is what Dominique told me, that the officer said she wasn't touching anything, that she had to get it.
I know, but she didn't stand over her and watch her grab all your articles
Once again,
of clothes.
she did not.
Let me hear your side.
Okay, in February, I told her she could keep her property there, but she could not stay there because I had already had one strike against me from her criminal damage in my property where I had to call and file a police report with my landlord, and I had criminal damage against me. So that was one strike against me already, and I only get 3 strikes.
What did she do to cause that damage?
She's a habitual
She kicked in my back door once I found out that she stole my son's social security card, and I reported her to the IRS.
Your Honor, she
kicked in my back
door. Cheating every federal agency
I don't have to, she's a scammer.
Section 8. IRS, unemployment.
Administration.
No, I never received unemployment.
She's a scammer.
Let's get to when the police came.
Okay, the day the police came, Toya had already became verbally abusive with me in my car. She has not only does she has retail theft on her background, she has assaults, domestic, all that from knives and stuff, because that's what she do.
If that man was beating on her like you said, that's what she's supposed to do.
This prior to the man beating on her. So what?
In self-defense.
But the man beat on her like I say, but she wasn't doing that to him.
Ma'am,
but anyway,
you want to get to...
Okay, I want to get to my point. The day the police came, Your Honor, I told them that she could not come in my house because she's very disrespectful. Her things are in the back room. The lady officer went with me to the back room to get her things. The lady officer, by me being pregnant, she was helping me bring the things to the front. She said that she couldn't. She said, I'm not going to help you lift her things, but you could just show me what's hers, just take it to the front. So as I'm bringing her things to the front, she had them bow-guarded, and just came in my apartment, and the other male officer was trying to get her out of my apartment. He couldn't get out of my apartment. She began grabbing things out of my apartment. So by me grabbing my jacket, we was going back and forth with my jacket. I also had a police report to prove that.
Let's see it.
They said that it was like I was trying to resist arrest. That's what they said. It was resisting arrest. We was going back and forth with my jacket.
Why were they trying to arrest you?
No, this is what they said. They said she was tugging my jacket. After he tried to get her out of my apartment, she wouldn't leave. So I'm pulling my jacket. She telling me, stop, just let it go, just let it go. And I'm telling her, no, this my jacket. It got my car keys in it, got my money, and I'm not letting the jacket go. The officer somehow got elbowed. She said she don't know who elbowed her, so we both was arrested for domestic battery.
She is lying, y'all.
I was released the very next morning. She wasn't released till 2 days after. Like I said, John, she
failed to follow verbal commands and pulled away from the officer in an attempt to defeat an arrest for a violation. That's what they said.
Your Honor, let me tell you how she got arrested.
Why?
I end up, when I budged my way in the apartment, I did grab her jacket off her stand so that I would have something to hers to get my property.
That's what you told me a minute ago.
Right. What'd I say?
She said she never came in my apartment.
I said the lady officer opened the door and I budged my way in there.
That's not what you said.
Exactly.
You said you stood out there with the male officer. You said you never came in. What's your emotional distress for?
My emotional distress because she had me and my 3.5 kids were evicted because she called the police and had them come.
Because what?
I was evicted because I have 3 strikes. The first strikes was when she did the criminal damage.
Do you have something to indicate she has something to do with your eviction?
She's lying.
Yes, my eviction letter states in my eviction letters because of the police coming to my house
because she got
from the
arrested,
incident and me getting arrested from that incident.
That sounds like a mutual conflict you all had. Both your cases are dismissed. You lied and said you stood out there with the police and never went in the house. Then you say, I did go in there. I know. Keep that. Go ahead. Cases dismissed.
Thank you, Judge Mathis.
Plaintiff Eleanor Vandenbosch owns a bar in New York, and she says her sister's fiancé is such a drunk that he's currently banned from her bar. Eleanor says she went to Las Vegas along with her sister and the defendant, but she was forced to loan the defendant money because he got drunk and missed his plane. But she's suing because he has yet to repay her. Defendant Harold Meese Jr. says the reason he missed his flight in Vegas was because he got delayed while returning his rental car, not because he was drunk. Harold insists Eleanor told him he didn't have to repay her, so he didn't.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I own Ashton's Bar in Rochester, New York. And by the way, when this airs, we're having a Judge Mathis night, and you're invited down for all free drinks.
What about me?
About Doyle, right. Yeah.
But anyways, this gentleman here is quite the party boy. He is at the moment barred from my bar.
Why?
Because he drinks and he starts fights and stuff. And I told him if he didn't lie in court, I'd bring him back in, so we'll see. But
you got a lot at stake, buddy. A lot at stake today. Go ahead.
We all went to Las Vegas. My sister, who is his fiance, and him, and me and my husband. Well, we had a limousine take us to the airport, but he was so drunk that he missed a plane. So he called me and asked me, can I borrow money for the plane to get home? Because it was $800 extra. And they needed $400 for the weekend. And that was till Tuesday, so I let him have it. So then he never paid me back. And now he thinks because he's going to marry my sister that he doesn't have to pay me back.
Okay, let me hear his side. Were you banned from her bar?
Everything she said is not true because...
You can still go to her bar?
Do I still go to her bar?
Can you?
Not at the moment, no.
So you were banned from the bar?
Yeah, but it's... All right, look, can I start from the beginning?
Yes, sir.
We went to Vegas, okay? I rented a car. And the reason I missed the plane, I had to take the car back on the strip. And by the time I got from there back to the airport, they had already left. So I couldn't get another flight out until it was on a Saturday. I couldn't get a flight out till Tuesday.
All right, let's get to the money.
And she was with me.
She we missed her plane also?
Yeah, she was.
She missed her plane?
Oh, yeah, she was with me.
All right.
I didn't have enough money to stay there, so we wired LA for the money. I guess my defense is...
Excuse me, not we, you. You called me, not her. Okay.
Whatever. And I went to pay her back and she said, don't worry about this. Everything is okay.
No,
what
Your
happens
Honor,
in Vegas stays in
let
Vegas.
him finish. What's that?
And then,
she said, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That's what she told me.
And you said that includes loans?
Now I get into a tiff with her. And now I got to pay her back. It's terrible.
Your Honor, I said he didn't have to pay back until he got on his feet because he didn't have a job or anything then. Now he has a job and everything. And
how long has he been working?
Year and a half.
Okay. And still hasn't paid you your money?
Not a penny, Your Honor.
And you had agreed to pay at some point?
No.
That's what you just told me. You told me I said to her I'd pay her money back. I'm not going to even have your fiance testify against you because that wouldn't be right. In fact, the law prohibits married couples from testifying against each other. And even though she's only your fiance, it's for the same purpose that I won't have her testify because husband and wife, they have the privilege of talking and discussing things and lying to each other. So that privilege carries into court. They have the privilege of not lying on each other or telling the truth, as it were. So I'm not going to even ask you to verify this, but by your own admission, sir, you said I will pay her. I told her I would pay her. Now you're lying. Said you didn't tell her that. And you just told me that a few minutes ago. And did you mean money when you said what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? Did you mean loans as well?
Your Honor. Definitely not money.
Okay, because that usually refers to behavior, not monetary issues. Yeah, $1,200 for the plaintiff. Give your money back. That's my judgment.